What's up, fellas? Let's wake up. Let's get our minds right. It's a great day to be alive. Weather, come back to Chicago. The weather's amazing. Walk to work, and the vibes are just high in the air because it's going to be a great summer. Oh, man. We've been waiting all year to get this weather better. It's finally here. Good times are coming. I hear it everywhere I go. We got our Stella Blue. We got our Dude Wipes. It's the dream combo to start your morning. Wake up with Stella Blue. Clean yourself out with Dude Wipes. Can't beat it. Joined by Tyler Moody from Louisiana. A ton of stuff to discuss. Today, we have a bombshell NFL trade that has hit the airwaves this morning. Georgie boy, George Pickkins, headed to the Big D to wear the star on his helmet. I believe it was for a third and a fifth. Big news, though. George Pickett's on his way out of Pittsburgh and going to be catching passes from Dak Prescott. What's up, Moody? How we doing this morning?
Hey, yo, what's up, man? As a semi-Dallas Cowboys fan, this is a very interesting morning. Woke up to the news that George Pickens is headed to the Dallas Cowboys. On the surface, I think this looks like a great deal for the Cowboys, but I think you have to be a little a little bit aware that anytime the Steelers trade away a receiver, it doesn't usually work out well. So we'll see how this one turns out, but on the surface, I think this is a good move for the Cowboys.
Adam Schefter dropping the bombshell. It's George Pickens and a 2027 sixth rounder for a 2026 third rounder and a 2027 fifth rounder. Look, my immediate thoughts. The writing was on the wall in the Pickens Pittsburgh thing when they traded for DK Metcalf and gave him $150 million. You're not going to pay both of them. I mean, I thought they might keep Pickens one more year until his contract was up, but he obviously was not going to be a long-term fit there when they gave DK $150. There's only so much money to go around. And Pickens obviously had a lot of problems with management. You saw his comments after the Ravens playoff game, like, do you have hope? He was like, no. So I'm not totally shocked. I love this move for Dallas because you gave up a third and a fifth. I mean, if it doesn't work out, you literally gave up a third-round pick. I think you're going to see a super motivated Pickens next year. I think, great fit with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, especially the route runner CeeDee Lamb is all over the field. It's going to open up deep shots for Pickens. I think they complement each other extremely well. And, I'm not saying Pickens is the best behaved guy because we all know he's a diva receiver, but you ought to get good behavior for a year while he's trying to get money. And he's got to be excited after all the quarterback musical chairs he's had in Pittsburgh to have a real quarterback throwing in the ball. And I'm going to dare I say it, your Cowboys got kind of really the first positive big news from Dallas this offseason. The coaching search, nobody's excited about Schottenheimer. They never do much in free agency. I'm sure the draft was solid, taking Tyler Booker, who's going to be an elite guard to replace Zach Martin. But, nobody ever gets excited about drafting O-lineman early, even if it does work. But I think this is a move that's going to get the fans a little pumped.
This is the first move in the last few years where, at least currently, like on the surface, you're like, damn, this is a good move. This makes sense. Didn't give up too much. Got a potential star receiver. I mean, look, think about the guys Pickens has played with the last couple of years. I mean, we're talking some of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Kenny Pickett, like, dude, he's awful. You know what I mean? And Pickens was able to have success, at least from a stat standpoint, with those guys. I think you give him Dak and you put CD on the other side, drawing number one coverage because, like, you have to pay attention to CD. You got to double him. You got to put your best defenders on him. So that's going to open up a lot of things for George Pickens. On the surface, this looks really good for the Cowboys, and they didn't give up much. I think that's the biggest thing here. It's not like they gave away a first-round pick, a second. I mean, look, a third for one season of a stud wide receiver, you'll give that up year after year after year. So I think this is a great move on the surface for the Cowboys. I don't really see them signing him to a long-term deal unless the fit is just absolutely immaculate. But if this is a one-year deal and it gets you back into the playoffs, then you got to tip the cap to Jerry. It looks like at the moment a good move.
Yeah, another thing too. Hey, Pickens is a class. If he has a good year, you can franchise him for a year. He's the kind of guy. He's the kind of guy that I'd be hesitant to give the long guaranteed money to. But, I mean, you keep him motivated and, he's going to love wearing that star on his helmet. So I think it's a great move for Dallas. I think it's a low risk. It's a very high upside. I mean, I guess there's risk in the locker room, but Jerry's, trying to put the most talented football team on the field. I just know for their offense, when you watch them the last couple of years, it's been CeeDee Lamb and that's it at receiver. And so he's got to be the happiest guy ever. He got paid last year and now he's got a real compliment to put a little less pressure on him. So, big move for the NFL. And I think the
And
Cowboys
I think George Pickens, isn't he from Texas originally as well?
is
Did
he? I
he?
just know he went to. I just know he went to Georgia. He was like a
Okay, I
five
thought he.
star. He was a 5-star recruit. Got hurt a little bit at Georgia, which is why he fell to second round. But he was
No, he went
always
to. He's from Hoover, Alabama. Okay.
okay. Okay, he's from Hoover. Yeah. Well, either way, extremely talented. Big move to start the day in the NFL. A lot of stuff to get into. Got back yesterday from the Bet Gala. Man, Arizona's freaking great, dude. I mean, it's just a totally different vibe. You know, we got lucky that it wasn't too hot out there and the weather was great, but you're out there in the mountains and you see the cactus and the architecture and the clean air, and it's just a totally different deal. It's kind of part of what makes the United States so great is we have such different regions all over the place. But, man, this Bet Gala, shout out to DraftKings and Dave Portnoy and Barstool and MB and Live Events Lisa. Just they put together such a spectacular event on Monday night. Flew out there Sunday. Really fun to see all the Barstool people dressed up because you just never see that. I got to walk the red carpet with Frank the Tank, which was kind of special, seeing how good he's looking. I got heat for my out. I mean, Dave and Portnoy and Kelly Keegs just railed on me for my suit. I just wore a suit with a black tie to a black tie event, but they said I was dressing for a funeral. I don't know. I thought I was looking pretty damn good. That's just
Yeah, I thought you looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, I didn't see the problem. But it was just such a cool event, though, man. I mean, they just did it all so high end. I mean, they had like tomahawk ribeyes and lobster and a seafood station, amazing food. They had open bar. Everybody in the true Barstool fashion, by the way. Things always work out for Barstool. That Celtics-Knicks first-round game, people thought it'd be a throwaway. Instant classic with New York coming back, winning an OT. You've got tons of Boston and New York people there. Content was great on that front. But just super cool event, and just really appreciate everybody at DraftKings and Barstool for throwing it together. Just really fun to be a part of. And, I believe that they're planning on doing it yearly. So hoping not the last one. But really a lot of fun out there in Arizona. Great to be back here. I mean, like I said, dude, it's going to be a great summer, dude. I was walking to work today, Moody, and the vibes, the weather, been holding it back all year for the summer. And it just, you could feel it in the air finally coming. It was like 60 degrees. Beautiful weather here in Chicago. All the pools are about to open. Cubs are doing well. I mean, the vibes are hot in the city. And you just suffer for so long here with the weather. You know, it starts in November and bleeds all the way into May. And it's just finally thinking we may be getting out of the woods here. So very excited about that.
Have you always been like a weather guy? Or is it since you moved to Chicago? Or like, do you think it's like a getting older thing? Because like,
It's
for
definitely a
me,
getting older thing.
yeah, because like I'm starting to notice it a little bit more that I care about the weather. Like for the first 30 years of my life, couldn't give rain, sleet, snow, hot, cold, didn't matter. What the weather was so irrelevant. But as I'm getting a little bit older, you start to check the weather report, you start to wonder, you start to worry and care about it. I think it's just a getting older thing, huh?
No, it is. I check it way more. And I'll also say,
Yeah.
I had a little trick the last few years where, I mean, even when I lived in the South, I get the hell out of there in the summer. Like, I go out west and do World Series of Poker Vegas and go to Red Rocks and travel. Like, I've been dodging that South summer for the last few years. That's definitely been kind of one of my things. But, yeah, just living in Chicago, I think it makes you check it more. But, it's the opposite. It's like in Louisiana, you get the awful summer, but then you get pretty good fall, spring. And here you get the awful winter, but you get the great summer. So it's kind of like apples and oranges, like pick your poison. But, man, the summer vibes are just, it's so great up here. And I'm feeling really good. And the energy's good. And it just kind of feels like a really special summer's coming. I mean, that's the vibe. We'll see. Who knows? But, there's a lot of great stuff going on. A lot of sports world stuff to catch up on here, too. Man, these NBA playoffs, Moody, what's going on with these road teams? Because, you go into this second round, and, I mean, we're just seeing some chokes. Dude, Cleveland... they're up 7 with 45 seconds last night and lost to go down 2-0 to Indiana. Halliburton hit that big shot.
20 at one point, I think. I mean, there was just a complete and utter collapse. One of the worst collapses we've seen in recent memory, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Pacers 2-0 now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wild. Because everybody, including me, everybody was just saying, nothing matters till Cavs Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. And and the Cavs and Celtics both hadn't won a game in the Eastern semis yet. So Pacers 2-0. New York with the crazy comeback from down 20. They won an OT. They're up 1-0. No matter what happens in Game 2, dude, Madison Square Garden's going to be freaking rocking for Game 3 no matter what now. I mean, Celtics, Knicks, playoffs. That NBA can't be happier with that situation. And then out west, I mean, dude, what the hell happened to the Thunder? They're up 11 with 3 minutes to left, completely collapsed.
They got Jokic to bro. Jokic took over. Aaron Gordon obviously hit the big shot, but Jokic had, 44, 22, and 8, I think, or something like that. I mean, he just went bananas. He also had a steal and 2 blocks. Not to take anything away from SGA, but Jokic is the best player in the world. I mean, just watching that game, I don't know how anybody could put SGA above Jokic, in my personal opinion. But,
42 and 22.
Yeah, 40, insane. Absolutely insane. He's a stud. Obviously, Aaron Gordon was the man that saved that game, but Jokic was the reason they were in that spot. So just a sensational comeback. That's going to be a great series, man. You got the been there, done that team with the veterans and the Nuggets versus the young up-and-coming Thunder. It's a great series. In my opinion, it's the best series that we have. And I know the two Eastern Conferences are going to be – two Eastern Conference games are going to be very good as well, but this one's the best series for sure.
And then Golden State goes on the road and wins Game 1 in Minnesota despite Steph Curry hurting his hamstring last night. I mean, 99-80.
Jimmy Butler's a dog too, bro. I was so looking forward to Jimmy versus Ant just because they have such similar attitudes, styles. They both might be Michael Jordan's illegitimate sons. Like, who knows? You know, there's no doubt that these two guys going heads up is going to be great basketball. And sure enough, we got that in Game 1.
Yeah, Golden State, Buddy Hield, man, really stepping up. He had, he had another huge game last night. He was huge in that Game 7. And if Curry's banged up, having him to come in and shoot is massive. But Moody, your Golden State ticket, what do you have it at? 22-1?
22-1? Yeah, I mean, it's only 50 to win, like almost 660, 670, whatever it is, 720. So nothing crazy, but, look, it just gives me a sweat. It gives me something to sweat on this NBA season, or NBA playoffs, because I really don't care outside of that, bro. Like I'm trying to. Thank God the games are good. If
that's what's
blowouts,
getting me into it.
Yeah, wouldn't even be paying attention at all if these games were blowouts. But the fact that they've all been very entertaining, and let's be honest, man, this is what the NBA desperately needed. After a season of down ratings, everybody's talking about what's wrong with the NBA. What can we do to get everybody back? Well, very contentious playoff games that come down to buzzer beaters game after game. That's one way to get the fans reinvigorated.
No doubt. And, man, some more games tonight. The NBA playoffs they're kind of trying to get me back in as a fan. They've been so good. And then you look at tonight, we've got Game 2, Boston 10.5-point favorite over the Knicks. And then the Thunder, a 10.5-point favorite over the Nuggets. Of the two, who do you think's got the better chance to pull the Game 2 upset? I think the Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Boston's got to bounce back here.
I may sound insane for saying this, but I think the Nuggets should be the favorite in the series. Like, I just think they're the veteran. They have the best player. They're the more veteran team. I understand that things kind of went awry for them at the end of the season. They fired their coach. They made some changes. But if this is a team that figures it out quickly on the fly, like, they're going to be so damn tough to beat. So, I mean, again, I haven't watched every NBA game this year. This is just my personal opinion. I think the Nuggets are the team. I think they're going to win the series.
Man, should be a good one. But those two games tonight, 6 and 8:30, got a doubleheader. And then, dude, these NHL playoffs have just been riveting. That's what's been getting me more than NBA. And we have yet another overtime game last night with the Carolina Hurricanes winning Game 1 in OT against the Caps in Washington. And then I went to bed last night when Las Vegas was up 2-0 early on Edmonton, and I wake up and Edmonton wins 4-2 to win Game 1. That Edmonton Golden Knights series is going to be sick, dude. That one's going to be great. Dude, Edmonton plays just like I feel like they're like the spread offense in hockey. They play these just wild, high-scoring games all the time. They'd be like a football team that plays 45, 38 games every week, is what it seems like.
The Washington Commanders, essentially.
Yeah, whatever it is. And then I got to watch those Game 7s over the weekend because it was like both Saturday and Sunday you had NBA and NHL Game 7s. And the NHL Game 7s were just, that Avs Stars where the Avs were up 2-0, and then the Renton, how do you say his name, Mikko Renton, who played 10 years for the Avs and got traded in January, won a championship with them, scores 3 goals and has an assist in the third period of a Game 7 against his former team. I mean, you can't write scripts like that.
So far, that was about the only hockey that I've watched, but I was tapped in for the third period of that because I checked ESPN, saw it was 2-0 going in the third. I was like, all right, it was 0-0, and they scored early on in the third period to go up 2-0. And I was like, all right, I got to tap in on this. And it's phenomenal game. And that's the reason I should be watching more hockey, because every single one of these is electric like that. So I need to tap in. I keep saying that. Baseball just got me in
I'm kind of mad we're not
chuckle.
Bandwagon Dallas Stars fans from our Shreveport time. Because I don't have a hockey allegiance, and that would have been so fun.
I'm cheering for the Stars, but I'm not. Obviously, I'd be just lying to you if I said I'm a diehard Stars fan. Like, if they lose the series, it's not going to break my heart. But if they keep winning, like, obviously I'm cheering for them. I'm hoping they win. I don't have another NHL team. Been to one hockey game in my career, and it was a Stars game. They played the Coyotes back in the day.
Yeah, no. And then the other one, the other Game 7 Sunday night, too, that Blues-Jets was nuts. Winnipeg was down 3-1 with 2 minutes left and came back at a 1 in OT. Pretty insane. The Maple Leafs up 1-0 on the Florida Panthers after winning Monday. And then a couple games tonight. We got Game 2 of the Panthers-Leafs. It's 1-0 Toronto. And then Game 1, Dallas out in Winnipeg. Long trip for the Stars. But Game 1 tonight, 8:30, late one. All right, let's get into some baseball stuff. Moody, I saw you had 131-1 parlay. Tell us about it.
131-1 also had it round robin, so we hit a little extra on that. But I needed it because I got my ass kicked the last 10, 12 days. So it was doing these home run props is so interesting because you can be scorching hot, you can feel invincible, you can make 70 units in like 2 weeks, or I guess 80 to be honest with you. I made like 80 units in probably 2 weeks, and then I gave back half of it essentially over the next 2 weeks. So like it's a volatile thing that I'm doing. I'm fully aware of that. I think the people that are tailing me are aware of that as well. But yeah, whenever I pop off, and we hit the second 3-legger of the year. I haven't seen any of these other home run prop dudes share a second 3-leg ticket of the year, so I might be up 1 3-legger on them right now.
Dude, two 3-leggers already, 2 over 100-1. Who all was in the one you hit?
Freddie Freeman. Hang on, let me remember. Dude, I bet so much. It was Freddie Freeman, Corbin Carroll, and oh shit, I don't even remember now.
Well, either way, you had to like. Did the last person hit one late in the game, or did you hit it early? How'd it go?
First pitch he saw. Corbin Carroll was the last leg. First pitch Corbin Carroll saw. It was Matt Olson. Oh, this was what was so insane about it. That's why I couldn't remember. Matt Olson hit an inside the park home run, the first one of his career. What happened? He hits the ball down the left field line. Left fielder, this rookie Callahan, goes to make a play on it, dives, catches the ball, but as he catches it, he slams into the wall and breaks his wrist. So as he's going to the ground, he lets the ball out of his glove. In my opinion, this was a catch. He absolutely caught this ball. But the rule says if you hit the wall and you must voluntarily release the ball, it cannot be an involuntary action. So he involuntarily released the ball because he clearly just broke his hand, wrist, forearm, whatever. Matt Olson rounds the bases, and that was how we got the second leg of the 3-leg parlay.
Wow.
I felt like I deserved that one a little bit. Obviously, Callahan didn't deserve that, but I felt like I deserved it because I'd been so close on a few other 3-leggers this year. But talk about an insane-ass way to get a home run. Matt Olson, first inside the Parker of his career. Utterly insane.
Wow. Well, follow Moody on Twitter at MoodyMacTV for more picks. Also, a bunch of stuff over the weekend. Just want to touch on. It was fun having Jay Slavalette, interviewing him with Peyton last week. A&M won 2 out of 3 against LSU, and he got a big hit late, and he'd been in a big slump. That was a big, I picked A&M to win that series, and Peyton kind of laughed at me, but I still believe in the Aggies with my 50-1 ticket. They're up to 10-14 in the SEC. Moody, the big thing, finally Texas regressed. They were 19-2 in the SEC. They got the shit kicked out of them at Arkansas last weekend, swept. You knew their regression had to come. They lost their ace pitcher, and then their best hitter is out too. But man, it was kind of like overdue. But man, Arkansas came out and spanked them. They're now 19. Texas is still number one in the SEC at 19-5. But that was kind of a huge thing.
Well, and baseball is such a mental and emotional game too. It's just as much as it is physical. When you lose your two stars of your team, it just does something to a team mentally. You know what I mean? Like you just obviously you don't have their talent on the field, but even without them, like some teams rally, some teams don't. It's a very interesting case. And Arkansas they smelled blood in the water and they took advantage. And that's a really damn good Arkansas team too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I'm looking at the SEC standings right now. Texas 19-5, Arkansas 17-7, Georgia and LSU 15-9, Tennessee, Vandy 14-10. Dude, Arkansas had lost like 2 out of 3 series in a row, but they got to win the title one of these years, dude. I mean, they are just always in Omaha. They should have won in 18 when they dropped that foul ball. This thing with this team, they always have the arms, but they can really hit this year at the Loy brothers. I don't know, man. I think this Arkansas team, this could be their year. I know that's been said a lot, but everybody else in the SEC feels like they've won one. And they're 17-7. They're 49 overall. They got the pitching talent. I went into the year having questions about their hitting, and that's not a problem. Feels like they got it all. And, the thing with baseball, man, it's all about getting hot at the right time. And I feel like that could be what I'm worried about with Texas. Is they peaked early and now have these injuries. Like I feel like they could fade a little bit. But Arkansas, huge statement series to win that.
Can you think of any other school more so than Arkansas that's like cursed as far as getting a national championship? I just feel like, when was the last time Arkansas won a national championship in anything?
I mean, the only one I remember was '94 basketball when I was a kid. When they had Scotty Thurman.
Like they'd spend nothing, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, you're right, dude. And they've got their baseball program's awesome. I mean, they're so dude.
Been great for years. I went to their camp. One of my best friends so I had 2 guys that I played high school ball with that went to Arkansas, and I went with them up to a camp. I mean, just top tier everything. The stadium, the facilities, the coaching staff. I mean, everything. I went to Arkansas and Mississippi State camps, and the Arkansas one was not to throw shade at Mississippi State. The Arkansas one was just better in every single way imaginable. 2 of our teammates ended up going there. One of them was going there to hit and pitch. Bronson Gillum, one of my really good friends, stud, was going to Arkansas, blew his arm out the first couple months he was there and was never the same. Very unfortunate.
Damn. Well, they're certainly I feel like they may be one of the favorites now. And then I mentioned Tennessee's kind of been struggling a little bit. I mean, not bad. They're 14-10 at SEC now. Auburn gave them some problems over the weekend. Auburn emerging. Ole Miss lost 2 out of 3 at Oklahoma, but did salvage the Sunday game. Oklahoma's got this league's so deep. I think the other story worth mentioning, well, there's a couple other ones. I criticized Mississippi State when they fired Lamonis. Dude, Mississippi State's hot now. They run rule Memphis, and they swept a pretty good Kentucky team at home. So maybe they made the right move, moving on for Lamonis, and their fans showing out. They're 10-14 in the SEC. Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Huge series this weekend in Starkville. But Mississippi State right back in great chance to get, if they go 3-3 the next 6 SEC games, they're going to get in the NCAA tournament. So maybe they made the right move. Sometimes hiring that interim gives you a little bit of a boost. And then the Florida Gators were 1-11 in the SEC 4 weeks ago, and now they're 11-13. And, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt with
never count Florida out. That Florida baseball program's just year after year, they're going to be there. They'll find a way.
Yeah, and then the biggest other series outside the country, Florida State won 2 out of 3 against Clemson. Florida State's up to number 3. But what's crazy, Moody, only 2 weeks of college baseball regular season left before conference tournaments. And, man, I freaking love the NCAA tournament in baseball. I know everybody's obsessed with March Madness. But, man, that first weekend of the NCAA tournament in baseball, dude, you got a Friday, and usually there's some weather delays and stuff. But you got, instead of 16 games in a day, you got 32 on Friday and Saturday. I mean, it's crazy. Yep. And so I can't wait. That's coming up in a few weeks, and then the road to Omaha. So that's going to be certainly something can't wait to pay attention to. And like I said, I got that A&M futures ticket, so I'm kind of, they got that, even off that sweep at Texas, I didn't feel bad about them. They lost 3 one-run games, and then you bounce back, get 2 out of 3 against number 2 LSU. I'm feeling pretty optimistic and motivated. For sure.
Oh, shout out to the boys in the chat. If y'all got anything y'all want to throw at us here at the end of the show, definitely chime in. Missouri baseball should be relegated to MEAC. They've been brutal, huh?
Yes. Let's talk about it. Worst. I mean, they're 0-21 in the SEC, 0-24. I'm sorry. And they're not going to win a
That's
game.
tough.
And they haven't
No,
even, like, I don't think they've even really, like, I think they've had the lead, like, twice. I mean, and it was interesting because their AD came out and talked about, hey, we hadn't put enough NIL into baseball. And you'd get that if, like, Missouri didn't have money as a school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, they've crushed NIL in football. That's why they've been good the last few years. They changed the law in Missouri ahead of time, ahead of the NIL game, so they could compete. And they've done a damn good job. But you would think if you got, like, a lot of money going through the football program, you'd at least send a few $100K to baseball. But, and then, you know, you look at that state, and obviously, you know, they love the Cardinals in Missouri, but, like, there's a baseball culture there, you know?
Yeah, I've got a lot of family in Missouri, actually. They're not the biggest sports people in Missouri, though, to be honest with you. Like, there are a lot of farmers up there and stuff, and they do love the Cardinals. But outside of that, look, they had the Rams taken away from them. I think that made a lot of people bitter. But yeah, you're right. They should love Missouri sports more.
Yeah, I always do say this, though, man. A lot of part of the college baseball thing, it's like these states that don't have pro teams get the psycho fan bases, like LSU and both Mississippi schools and Tennessee. You know, when you don't have a pro team in your state, the college team becomes the pro team, and everyone cares. But in Missouri, everyone grows up Cardinals fans, and so Missouri baseball is an afterthought. So maybe that's the thought. But either way, going to be firing games on DraftKings. I'm actually about to look up the odds to win the national title and check out that update real quick. But love the fact that the college baseball stuff, you can just fire it like crazy on DraftKings. And College World Series right now, Moody. Arkansas 4-1 favorite off that weekend. Tennessee plus 650, LSU plus 750, Georgia 10-1, Texas A&M 14-1, baby. Those who listened, 50-1. I gave it out. People, I didn't get a lot of reaction then, but I'm going to talk a lot of shit about it if they make a run. I can promise you that.
I'm starting to wish I would have thrown some down on there. I forgot to do it, to be honest with you. I'd never got around to it. You told me. You gave me plenty of heads up on it, and I didn't do it. I should have.
North Carolina 16-1. Texas, interesting for Texas to be first in the SEC, 18-1, but that's lost their ace pitcher. Max Bellew, their Golden Spikes, got hurt. Hopefully he can come back for the tournament, but that's why. You know, I mean, isn't that crazy? Texas is 19-5 in the SEC, and A&M's 10-14, and Texas just swept them, and A&M has better odds to win the title than Texas. That's pretty wild.
That is pretty wild. And our boy over here, C-Lark, or Clarky, he says Mintzy refusing to mention Georgia baseball is insane. You got to.
Well, we'll mention Georgia baseball because they're freaking good. No, I'll say some stuff about them. Wes Johnson has done just such a spectacular job. So he was the pitching coach for the Twins, and then he was LSU's pitching coach with Skeens, and then Georgia hired him. And, man, he turned this thing around, like, instantly. Like, and you always thought Georgia could be a baseball power. You're in Athens, you know, Georgia high school. You know, there's so much talent in that area. But, man, last year, Charlie Condon led the world in homers. They were a national seed and lost to NC State. And this year, I went into this year actually saying regression because they lost Condon. And, man, they're 15-9 in the SEC. They're top 10. I don't think I know they're 10-1. I don't think they're good enough to win the national title because I don't think their pitching's good enough. They got the hitting. I mean, they got three just of the best hitters. Clint Slade-Alford and that Dombrowski dude. I mean, they can freaking mash. But what I've seen out of Georgia and SEC, even with them being 15-9, like when they face really elite pitching, they've been struggling a little bit. And like they can't really outpitch the good pitching teams. So, I mean, I think they've got a good shot to get to Omaha. I don't think they're quite pitching's good enough to win a national title, but they're freaking good, man.
Well, that's exactly what we saw when we watched them last year at the SEC tournament, right? Like the good pitching just kind of shut them down, and they couldn't match. Like Condon was the only one that even showed up in the tournament last year for them. Outside of that, they didn't do much.
Well, it was impressive though because they lost Condon, and then they've been even better this year, and they're going to be a national seed for the second year in a row. And it's just interesting though because Wes Johnson, you got a pitching coach, and they don't really pitch very well. You thought when they hired him, they're going to be some like pitching factory. But they just mash, dude. They freaking mash. And so, but yeah, shout out to Georgia. I appreciate that in the chat because I don't mean to. This Texas thing being 18-1 is crazy. I mean, I get it, but it's just
you don't have your stud, man. You lose your ace pitcher. It's just how important it is if you're going to make a run and to get to Omaha, or definitely once you're in Omaha, you gotta have that arm that's a win for you every time you go out there. And Texas lost that, and I just think that's the biggest knock on them right now.
Florida State 25-1, number 3 in the country, and they got Jamie Arnold, who might be the best pitcher. I don't know. I think that might not be the worst value.
Is it crazy for me to say that I literally don't trust a single team outside of the SEC? I
It's
just,
not crazy
I,
because the SEC
you
wins
know,
it every year. That's
yeah,
my thing too.
don't.
When you look at the futures, like SEC wins it every year, and then you've got some other teams. Florida's down to 30-1, Auburn 40-1. Oklahoma's good too. I mean, you've got a lot. Oklahoma's got good pitching. I think Oklahoma could make a run to the tourney because they got 2 really good starters and pitching plays in the tourney. But man, either way, I just can't wait for this NCAA tournament, man. And it's coming up soon. It's super exciting. And, man, this is a great sports time of year. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, college baseball. And then I'm taking a look at the pro standings right now. And, man, Moody, Texas 500, still struggling.
Hopefully we have seen the bottom and it's time to buy the dip on the Rangers. You know what I mean? I think we're on the bounce back. Corey Seager was on the IL. Last couple games, the Rangers offense seems to have rebounded. And the craziest thing is that the Rangers pitching staff has been so damn good. And coming into the season, if you told me that the Rangers were going to hit poorly and pitch well, I would have told you you were flat out freaking lying to me. But that's been the case to this point. So I actually still have a ton of faith that if this lineup returns to what we think it should and could be, and the pitching staff, I mean, even if the pitching staff regresses a little bit, this is a playoff team. So I'm not concerned. I see a lot of Rangers fans freaking out. I'm really not concerned. I'm not. Bruce Bochy's the man. You got a leader in Corey Seager. Wyatt Langford's the man. Like, as long as the pitching stays healthy and keep playing around this level, I just don't see any way that the Rangers don't find their way into the postseason. And then you get in, you get hot, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think when I'm going through the standings, the Orioles being 13-21 may be the biggest surprise to me with how good they've been the last few years. What's going wrong in Baltimore?
That's a good question. I think that whenever they let Corbin Burns walk this offseason, it kind of set the tone for what the season was going to be. That we're not invested in putting the best team possible out there. And I think that's just what's showing on the field right now. And I'm not saying Corbin Burns is killing it by any means. He looks like he regressed. Maybe it was a good move for Baltimore to let him go to Arizona, take that deal. Maybe it was a good move, but I think it set the tone. Like, hey, we're going to go get Tomoyuki Sugano and bring him in as our big move of the offseason. While there was other pitchers that just they should and could have easily thrown money at to come make them a legitimate competitor. I really feel like they screwed up, man. They screwed up. They set the tone early in the season, and that tone was that we're not trying to compete at the highest level. We're going to try and ride in on what we have currently, and I think it's showing. And they started the year with Gunnar Henderson on the IL. He hasn't really gotten going. He's hitting a ton of ground balls. He's hitting them 115 miles an hour every time, but he's hitting a ton of ground balls. I do think he's going to pick it up at some point. I think this is a team that will be much more competitive down the stretch, but right now, man, they're just kind of sputtering. They're stuck in place.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking around the rest of the standings. I mean, the NL West is the toughest division. Colorado. I mean, how many games are they going to win this year?
They won 6, and they
So
killed
6
one
and
of my
28.
parlays the other day. One of their only 6 wins of the year, and they happened to screw them on parlays. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, they're terrible, man. The crazy thing is, their pitching sucks so bad. They have like 3 guys in the lineup that you would consider, maybe 4, that you'd feel like have legitimate MLB talent, and then half their other dudes are just they're AAA talent on a big league roster, you know.
In the hardest,
And
and
it's
then they
just
play in the hardest division of all time.
and honestly, I think at this point for the Rockies just to be shitty for the next couple of years, you're so far away from competing. Look, get these top draft picks, try and start rebuilding. This is going to be a long rebuild, but I think it's the right thing. It's going to suck for fans because, man, baseball in Colorado, I don't know if you've ever been to that ballpark.
No, I
There's
have,
just,
dude.
I don't,
Oh,
it's one of
Coors
the
Field,
best.
dude.
Oh,
Those the summer, the afternoon games out there in the summer and the night games. I remember one
one
of my
of
best.
that.
I went to this
Yeah.
game in like 2010 when Jason Giambi hit a walk-off against the Red Sox. It was
Oh,
electric.
that's
I'll
sick.
never forget it.
Growing up, Tulowitzki and Cargo were like 2 of my favorite players. So I went to a few games out there. My ex-girlfriend ended up moving to Colorado, so I'd go out there all the time and see her. And I go to a Rockies game every time I was out there. one of the best ballparks in the country. Absolutely love it. But right now they're just stuck in a spot where they got a long ass rebuild. Every other team in that division is playoff worthy, and they're just so far behind. It's laughable, but it is what it is, honestly.
And the Cubs, 22-15, 3-game lead, played well in Milwaukee over the weekend. I know you were watching that series.
Yeah, that was one of the series I really wanted to see. The Brewers. The Brewers are still good. Like everybody's ready to write them off. I'm not there yet. They're still hyper competitive. They're right there. The Cubs are the best team in the division, no doubt about it. Still think the Cubs are probably one pitcher away from being a World Series threat. But trade deadline, maybe they make that move. Maybe once we figure out who's going to be on the move, the Cubbies will go get them one. But they're definitely a playoff team with World Series aspirations. Pete Crow Armstrong. You
Yeah,
want to talk about a dude that has just stormed into the league, and he is playing way above his means as far as what I can see. The analytics on him are very interesting. He barrels the ball a lot. He barrels it a ton, but he's got like a 45th percentile bat speed. His exit velos are in like the 36th percentile. It's really weird. I think the home runs are definitely going to fall back to earth. And this is a guy that's when he came in or as he was coming up as a prospect, everybody viewed him as a defense speed guy, right? He's going to steal bags. He's going to play elite defense. He may be the best glove in all of center field in baseball right now. But nobody expected him to hit the ball like this. And he has really, really done a great job at the plate. I think he's going to regress at least a little bit. I think this home run rate is way above his means. He'll come back to earth. But got to give him a lot of credit. The Cubs, man, they're good. With him and Tucker clicking, it gives them two really good left-handed bats in their lineup along with Ian Happ.
Yeah, I saw PCA when he hit that bomb in Milwaukee when the Cubs fans are going nuts, was going around throwing up the money sign, running around the bases. I love that swag.
He's got a little of that swag in him, and baseball needs more of those guys. You know what I mean? Love them or hate those kind of players. Some people are old school baseball guys. They hate that shit. I love it, man. It's go have fun. Go play the game. If you're playing at a high level, I think you can do damn near anything you want. If you're carrying the team, if you're hitting walk-off home runs, if you're that dude, be that dude every second. I personally love it. But yeah, I think we need a little bit more of that in baseball. And PCA, he's got the blue hair. He dyes his hair all the time, all that stuff. He's a character. And I think that's a good thing because the Cubs don't have another character on that team. Everybody else on their team is, the straight-laced, just ball player. Nothing wrong with that by any means, but they don't really have that character. And I think Pete Crow Armstrong gives them that.
Well, whatever they're doing well because they're averaging 6 runs a game right now, and in this era, that's very, very impressive, especially with the cold weather in April. And they played a really tough schedule early, playing all those NL West teams as well. Well, good deal. Well, follow Mitty Mac TV on Twitter. Keep firing out the baseball winners. Bet with us on DraftKings tonight. I'm part of the Barstool we got a Barstool After Dark stream that should be a lot of fun that I'm excited about. Last thing I want to mention, tomorrow I'm speaking at the Barrett Sports Media Conference in Chicago in the afternoon. The Kirk Minahan clip. Minahan went nuts on a name last week and said I was effing dead to him if I spoke at this. And I mean, what am I supposed to do? Minahan, he has so many beefs, I can't even keep track of them.
How often do you and Minahan talk anyways?
I mean, not a ton, but we have a good relationship. I mean, he's always been super good to me. I like Minahan. I'm definitely not one of the guys that beefs with him. He's,
sure.
He gets a kick out of me, I think. We've always had a good, positive relationship. I always ask him about running because he runs a lot. And so, I'm about to be cranking. Going to be going hard I'm going to go really hard the next 9 days before I go to Charleston and go to the beach next weekend. That's for sure. All right, let's
to show off the beach bod.
Yeah, we're getting.
Watch out, ladies.
We're getting there. The finished product's gonna be epic, though.
Well, you looked good, man. You looked good at the Bet Gala. Everybody here in the chat was giving you some love too. They thought that you looked really good. So, shout out to chat for having your back as far as
I appreciate it, man.
As far as how you looked at the Bet Gala, brother.
Yeah, man, we're at the halfway point of it, but I feel good, and I'm really gonna turn it up the next 9 days and just eat real clean and lift and run a lot and really try to get it and then be feeling good in Charleston next weekend. That's for damn sure. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank y'all for joining us this morning. Get your minds right. Congrats to the Cowboys on getting George Pickkins. And let's have a hell of a day at the Stool.